Welcome, everyone. Today I'll be talking to you about Part 5 of the Credit and Debt Management Workbook series. Today's topic is on managing debt. This is something that affects millions of people, but in today's presentation, I'll be focusing on how those living in poverty can take back control. Managing debt might seem like a luxury, but with the right tools, it becomes a path to hope, dignity, and financial freedom. In this presentation, I'll be going over the warning signs of the debt problems, some preventive strategies, followed by effective debt management, credit counseling services, and I'll also be talking about how you can avoid scams, and then I'll conclude the presentation with the key takeaways. Now I'm going to talk about the warning signs of debt problems. The first warning sign is that you could be possibly relying on too much credit, which means using your credit cards out of necessity rather than convenience. The second warning sign could be your payment issues, which means that you're frequently missing your payment deadlines and you're approaching the credit limits on your credit cards. The third warning sign is debt cycling, which means you're possibly using one credit card to pay off another. The fourth warning sign is growing debt, which means that you're borrowing money or credit despite your inability to repay it later, and this causes your debt to increase each month. Now I'm going to talk about some preventive strategies. Prevention isn't just for those with savings, it's for everyone. The first strategy is to keep your credit cards out of reach, which means controlling your financial spending. This can be done by keeping your credit cards at home or by lowering your credit limits. You can also automate your bill payments with your financial institution. In addition, you want to avoid buy now, pay later schemes that may seem helpful but often make things worse. And most importantly, you need to remember to budget. This means you will know where your money is going and it will give you the power over your financial spending. Now I'm going to talk about effective debt management. If you're already in debt, there are still steps that you can take. If you have any savings, you can use them strategically, especially on high interest debt. You can also consider speaking to your creditors, as they're often more willing to work with you than you think. And always try to reduce how much you can borrow, even if it's by switching to a cheaper form of credit. Now let's talk about credit counseling services. One of the most empowering steps is to ask for help, as there are multiple nonprofit credit counseling services that exist specifically to help people who are experiencing large amounts of debt. They'll work with you to create a budget, manage your debt, and even improve your credit. In Canada, there are credit counseling services such as Credit Counseling Canada or CAF. These are safe, supportive resources that you could use, especially if you need help with your financial spending and if you're in large amounts of debt. Now I'm going to talk about how you can avoid scams. If you're struggling, that means you're a target, and scammers will know this and specifically prey on your money out of desperation. But don't worry, I'm going to talk to you about some strategies that you can use to avoid scams. The first strategy is to avoid offers that require upfront payment, as legitimate lenders rarely request advance fees. The second strategy is to not trust any fraudulent emails that are promising loans, as most of them are fraudulent. The third strategy is to use better alternatives, which means seeking nonprofit credit counseling and comparing all your options before taking loans. Now let's take a look at the key takeaways. First, it's important to act early, which means seeking help as soon as you notice problems that you're encountering large amounts of debt and you need help with your budgeting. Secondly, it's important to prioritize wisely, which means paying off your highest interest debts first and to keep a budget to keep track of your spending. It's also important to recognize the warning signs, which means knowing the danger signals of debt problems. Lastly, it's important to get expert help, which means consulting financial experts or credit counselors if you need help with managing your debt and, in general, to get support for your financial spending and budgeting. Now, here's a pop quiz. The first question is, which of the following is a warning sign of debt problems? Option A is paying off your full credit card balance every month. Option B is using one credit card to pay off another. Option C is keeping a low credit utilization ratio. Or option D, setting up automatic bill payments. The second question is, what is the best strategy to reduce borrowing costs? Is it option A, ignoring debt collectors? Or is it option B, switching to cash or credit cards? Option C, finding lower interest credit cards and negotiating terms? Or option D, borrowing more money to delay payments? Please take a few minutes, pause the video, and answer these questions. When you think you have the answers, unpause the video and I'll show you the solutions. Here are the solutions. The answer to question 1 was option B, using one credit card to pay off another. This is known as debt cycling, which is a dangerous practice where you rely on new credit to pay off your old debts, and this can lead to an unsustainable financial situation. The answer to question 2 was option C, finding lower interest credit cards and negotiating terms. The reason behind this is to lower your interest rates, which can help reduce the total amount paid on debt, making your repayments easier and faster. Thank you so much for listening to this presentation,